Eden was never lost. It was hidden. From the very first pages of Genesis, the Garden of Eden has been the greatest mystery of mankind, the paradise where Adam walked with God, the place of the tree of life, guarded by cherubim and a flaming sword. Yet, after the fall, Eden vanished from human sight. Was it destroyed by the flood, buried under rivers of dust and water, or sealed away in a spiritual realm forever? For centuries, believers and scholars have searched for the lost paradise, tracing the rivers of Eden, debating its location from Mesopotamia to Ethiopia, from the mountains of Armenia to the depths of the Persian Gulf. But the truth may be far darker, far more astonishing. God himself may have hidden Eden, locking it away until the appointed time. Why would the Creator hide the most sacred place on earth? What if the secret of Eden reveals not just the past, but the future destiny of humanity? And what if paradise is closer than we think, waiting behind a gate that no man can cross? In this video, we will uncover the Bible secrets of the lost Garden of Eden. Explore the rivers of Eden and the flood that may have buried it. Compare Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, and reveal why Eden is more than a location. It is the eternal symbol of paradise lost and paradise promised. So, stay with me. Tell me in the comments what you believe. Was Eden destroyed, or is it still hidden by God? Like and subscribe if you are ready to step into the mystery, because what you are about to discover could change the way you see the Bible forever. Eden, as described in Genesis, was not just a garden. It was the cradle of humanity, a sanctuary where Adam and Eve walked hand in hand with God in the cool of the day. Imagine the rivers shimmering with purity, the trees heavy with fruit that glowed with life itself, the air filled with harmony where no fear, no death, no sorrow had yet entered. The Garden of Eden was more than geography. It was the very heartbeat of creation. The Bible tells us of the rivers, Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. And for centuries, men have tried to map these streams, chasing the dream of finding this sacred paradise. Yet none align perfectly, because Eden was not meant to be reduced to a dot on a map. It was a reality both earthly and heavenly. And when Adam and Eve fell, they were not just driven from a place, they were driven from a dimension of intimacy with God. Too often, people mistake Eden for a simple patch of fertile land, but the deeper truth is that Eden was the intersection of heaven and earth, a place where God's presence made the soil holy. To reduce it to coordinates is to miss its sacred essence. That is the first lesson. Eden cannot be understood without seeing it as a spiritual reality. The four rivers. Dilemma has fascinated scholars and seekers alike. Some claim Eden was in Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates. Others point to the highlands of Armenia or to the lush valleys of Ethiopia, where the Gihon might once have flowed. Still others look to the depths of the Persian Gulf, where ancient riverbeds lie hidden beneath the sea. Each theory has its evidence, yet each falls short. For the rivers of Eden are like shadows of something greater, hints of a world that once touched eternity. Archaeologists dig and theologians debate, but perhaps the rivers no longer flow as they once did. The Great Flood may have shattered the land, burying Eden beneath layers of stone and water. Consider how entire civilizations have vanished beneath the oceans, the ruins of ancient cities swallowed by waves, forgotten until divers stumble upon their remnants. In the same way, Eden may lie unseen, its rivers silenced, its trees buried. But beyond geography lies a deeper question. Why did God allow it to be hidden? Was he protecting humanity from returning too soon? Was he guarding the tree of life so that sin would not reign forever? Here we find a powerful lesson. Sometimes God hides what we most long for, not to punish us, but to preserve us. The absence of Eden is not abandonment, it is mercy in disguise. Let this truth stir your heart. What feels lost may simply be held in the hands of God until the appointed time. The flood and the vanishing of Eden is perhaps the most haunting possibility. Genesis tells us the waters rose and covered even the highest mountains. If the garden had been rooted in earthly soil, those torrents would have swept across its rivers, drowning its beauty, covering its trees, erasing its pathways. The flood was not just judgment, it was reset. Cultures across the world, from Mesopotamian tablets to Native American legends, speak of a great deluge, as though humanity collectively remembers the day the earth was washed clean. Could it be that in that cleansing, Eden itself was sealed away? Some scientists have pointed to the Gulf Basin, once fertile ground, now hidden beneath the sea. Imagine the possibility, the lost garden, entombed under waves, a paradise drowned but not destroyed, waiting silently below. And yet, the flood may have done more than hide geography. It may have closed the doorway between realms. Eden was guarded by cherubim with a flaming sword, a living barrier ensuring mankind could not return. After the waters receded, perhaps what was left of Eden no longer belonged to earth at all, but to heaven. The lesson here is sobering. Sin does not just remove us from blessing, it alters creation itself. Eden's vanishing reminds us of the weight of choices, the ripple of disobedience that changes not only lives but landscapes. But even in judgment, there is a whisper of hope, for the flood gave birth to a covenant, and the rainbow declared that God's mercy would always triumph over wrath. So we move forward, from Eden's rivers to Eden's loss, and each step reveals not just where paradise may be, but why it was hidden. And as you reflect, consider this. If Eden still exists, buried under floodwaters or guarded in realms unseen, what would it mean if one day God chose to open its gates again? Comment your thoughts, for your voice matters in this mystery. And keep listening, because the secret of Eden is far from over. It only grows deeper with every word. Cherubim and the flaming sword stand as one of the most chilling images in all of Scripture. After Adam and Eve were cast out, Genesis tells us that God placed mighty angels with a flaming sword flashing in every direction, blocking the path back to the tree of life. This was no ordinary weapon, no mere barrier of stone or iron. It was a living, blazing threshold between life and death, between paradise and exile. Picture it, a blazing whirlwind of fire, brighter than the sun, guarding a gate that no mortal could cross. The symbolism is powerful. God was not simply punishing humanity, he was protecting us from ourselves. For if sinful man had stretched out his hand to eat from the tree of life, corruption would have become eternal. The flaming sword was an act of mercy disguised as judgment. How often in life do we see doors closed and call it punishment, when in truth it is protection? The angels at Eden's gates remind us that sometimes the things we cannot access are the very things that save us. Reflect on this mystery. the same God who guards paradise with fire is also the one who promises one day to restore it. That truth heals, even in exile. Jewish, Christian, and Islamic perspectives offer unique windows into the fate of Eden, each carrying echoes of longing and hope. In Jewish tradition, Eden is sometimes described as existing in the Far East, a real place still hidden from human sight, waiting to be revealed at the end of days. Christianity often sees Eden as a shadow of heaven itself, a symbol of what was lost but will be restored through Christ, the second Adam, who opens the way back to the tree of life in the New Jerusalem. In Islam, the garden is Jannah, a paradise promised to the righteous, where rivers flow beneath and peace is eternal. Three faiths, one root, yet different visions of the same mystery. And what binds them all together is this: a belief that paradise was never destroyed, only concealed, reserved for a time when humanity is ready to walk with God once again. The differences remind us that no single human tradition can fully capture the grandeur of what God has hidden. The similarities point us to something deeper, a universal yearning for the place where brokenness ends. The lesson here is clear. Regardless of creed, the human heart remembers its first home. Eden is not just theology, it is memory etched into our souls. Which vision stirs your spirit most? Eden as a hidden land, Eden as heaven's reflection, or Eden as eternal reward? Share your thoughts, for your perspective may reveal part of the whole. Eden as spiritual reality may be the key to unlocking the entire mystery. What if Eden was never meant to be confined to soil and stone? What if it was, and still is, a realm overlapping ours, hidden behind a veil of light? The Bible gives us glimpses. In Revelation, the tree of life reappears, its leaves for the healing of nations. This suggests Eden is not gone, but reserved in heaven, waiting to return. Think of moments in your own life when you felt a sudden peace, a whisper of beauty so pure it made your heart ache. That may be the echo of Eden, the memory of paradise still alive within us. For Eden was the place where heaven touched earth, and though sin severed the bond, God planted eternity in the human heart. Scholars may argue about rivers and ruins, but the deeper truth is that Eden is alive in spirit, not dead in dust. The lesson is profound. Paradise is not simply behind us, it is before us, promised in the world to come. Until then, its memory guides us, its absence humbles us, and its hope heals us. If Eden is spiritual, then it cannot be excavated by shovels or mapped by satellites. It can only be entered by grace. And maybe that is why God hid it, not to deny us, but to draw us forward, to awaken our hunger for what only He can restore. As you reflect, ask yourself, do you believe Eden was a place, a promise, or both? Comment your view, for every answer pulls us deeper into the mystery of the lost paradise. Modern theories and human longing reveal just how deep the search for the Garden of Eden has shaped our imagination and our faith. Across generations, explorers, archaeologists, and theologians have pored over maps, satellite images, and ancient texts, convinced that if they could just find the lost paradise, the mysteries of creation would unfold before our eyes. Some claim Eden rests beneath the waters of the Persian Gulf, pointing to hidden riverbeds buried under the sea. Others argue for Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates still flow as they did in Genesis. Still others suggest Africa, linking the Gihon River with the Nile. tying Eden's memory to Ethiopia's ancient soil. Each theory sparks fascination, each discovery fuels hope, but none has unlocked the gate. And maybe that is the point. Humanity's obsession with the physical location of Eden is a mirror of our deeper hunger, the longing for home, the ache for a place where we belong fully, where every wound is healed and every tear wiped away. Think of the countless times people have searched for paradise on earth. Utopian societies, golden cities, new lands across oceans. And yet everyone has fallen short. The lost paradise is not merely about geography, it is about destiny. The longing to return to Eden is written into our DNA, a divine imprint that keeps us searching for God. The mistake we often make is thinking we can dig or sail our way back to it, when in reality the path has always been spiritual. This lesson should stir the soul. What we call lost may be closer than we think, hidden not beneath rivers, but within the human spirit. If you could walk into Eden today, what would you hope to find first? The tree of life, the flowing rivers, or simply the voice of God calling your name? Share your vision, because every answer reveals a piece of the paradise humanity longs to recover. And as we wrestle with these theories, let them not merely inform our minds, but awaken our hearts to the truth that Eden is more than a place. It is a promise. Reflection. Did God hide Eden forever? This question cuts to the core of our existence. When Adam and Eve were cast out, Eden was not erased. It was concealed, veiled from human reach by divine hands. Some say it was buried under floodwaters, others that it was lifted into the heavens, still others that it was transformed into a spiritual realm awaiting the faithful, and perhaps all are true in their own way, for the mystery of Eden is larger than human logic can hold. But the Bible gives us a glimpse of hope. In Revelation, the tree of life returns, standing in the New Jerusalem, its leaves for the healing of nations. That means Eden is not gone. It is waiting. God did not destroy the paradise he planted with his own hands. He hid it until the appointed time, when sin and death will be no more. This truth is both sobering and healing. It tells us that paradise lost is not paradise destroyed, that what was hidden will one day be revealed. The great lesson is this: our exile is temporary, our separation not forever. Even now, the longing for Eden draws us toward the Creator, calling us to live with hope, to walk with faith, to trust that what God has concealed he will one day restore. Let this awaken your heart. Every sunset that takes your breath away, every moment of peace that feels eternal, every act of love that heals your wounds, they are all echoes of Eden, whispers of the home we were made for. The true question is not whether Eden still exists, but whether we are ready to enter when its gates are opened once more. So I ask you, do you believe Eden was destroyed or hidden for a time until humanity is ready? Comment your thoughts, because your voice carries weight in this timeless mystery, and together we draw closer to the truth of the lost paradise. The Garden of Eden still burns in the human imagination like a flame that never dies. From the moment Adam and Eve were driven out, humanity has carried the ache of exile, the memory of rivers flowing with life, the tree of life shimmering at the center, the voice of God walking in the cool of the day. We search for it in deserts, in hidden valleys, under the seas. But perhaps the true mystery is that Eden was never lost. It was hidden by the Creator himself. This truth is not meant to crush us, but to heal us, to remind us that what was planted by God's own hands cannot be destroyed by time, flood, or man's rebellion. Think of every sunset that silences your soul, every mountain peak that makes you catch your breath, every moment of love so pure it feels eternal. These are fragments of Eden breaking into our broken world. They are whispers that paradise is not gone. It is waiting, calling, promising that what was once lost will one day be restored. Eden is more than a story. It is the wound and the hope inside every human heart. That is why we cannot stop searching for paradise. We look for it in our families, in our friendships, in our dreams of peace. We chase it in gardens, in lands untouched, in visions of heaven. And yet, all these longings are signposts, pointing us to the true Eden, the dwelling place of God with man. The Bible promises that the tree of life will return in the New Jerusalem, its leaves for the healing of nations, rivers of living water flowing once again, and no flaming sword to bar our way. That vision is the climax of history, the return to Eden, the restoration of what was hidden. Until that day, every act of forgiveness, every word of love, every tear wiped away is a piece of Eden breaking into our present. That is why this mystery matters, not as an old story buried in Genesis, but as the destiny of humanity itself. So as you finish this journey with me, ask yourself, was Eden buried under the flood, sealed behind cherubim and fire, lifted into heaven, or hidden within our very souls? Each possibility carries its own power, but all of them lead to the same truth, that God Himself has preserved paradise for a purpose. And that purpose is not to taunt us with what we cannot reach, but to awaken our longing for what He will one day reveal. The real question is not whether Eden exists, but whether we are ready for it when the gates swing wide again. Will we have hearts that can walk with God once more? Will we choose obedience where Adam chose rebellion? Will we embrace the healing leaves of the tree of life and live forever in His presence? If this journey through the lost paradise mystery has touched your heart, if it has helped you see the Bible with new eyes, let me invite you to share your thoughts below. Do you believe Eden was destroyed, or do you believe, as Scripture suggests, that it was hidden for a time until humanity is ready? Your voice matters. Your perspective brings this story to life, and I would love to hear what you believe. And if you found light in these words, if this video gave you hope in a season where you needed healing, I ask you to carry that light forward. Like, subscribe, and stay with me as we keep uncovering the mysteries of God's Word together. Every moment of your support fuels the strength to create, to share, to reach more hearts with stories that heal and inspire. Even the smallest act of encouragement is priceless because it becomes part of the mission itself. Eden may be hidden, but the promise is alive. The rivers will flow again, the tree will blossom, the exile will end, and every child of Adam who chooses life will walk once more in the place where heaven and earth embrace. Hold that vision close. Let it lift you when the world feels heavy, and remember that paradise lost is also paradise promised. Thank you for walking this path with me. From my heart to yours, I am grateful. Until the day Eden is revealed, let us live as citizens of paradise, carrying light into the darkness, hope into despair, and love into every corner of this broken world. The garden is waiting, and so is God. Will you be ready to enter when the gates open again?